Hello and welcome to ACT Prep. I'm so excited for this course. My name is Mrs. Wilkins. I've had some of you, but there's actually quite a lot of you that I haven't had before. I'm excited to introduce this class just as a way to really look at how we get our scores up and get into the colleges of our choice. So we're going to start. I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to talk about what is ACT Prep, the virtual schedule, and just some class information. So my name again is Mrs. Wilkins. I grew up in a suburb outside of Dallas. So you can see by my giant obnoxious homecoming mom picture, that's me in high school. And that's a mom. We made those for all of our homecoming games and they were super fun. I miss that tradition. I wish Oklahoma did it because I just think that it's a good time to decorate a giant flower and get to wear it obnoxiously every day. I came to Tulsa in order to go to the University of Tulsa. That means I'm a huge TU sports fan. I'm just a sports fan in general, but TU in particularly because I went there, even though they're not always the greatest. Right now, the football team is ranked. Hoping basketball is going to do the same. I'm not so sure, but those are some things that I like. I am married. I met my husband at TU. You can see a picture down there of our wedding 2 years ago. That's me, my husband, and my family. Fun fact, the guys in my family are all above 6'3". I have a lot of football players, which is why I love sports so much. My dad played at Baylor. My cousin's going to play at Baylor next year. We love football a lot. I have a dog who I've been spending most of my time with. His name is Tucker. He's a Lab Mastiff mix. He's been enjoying quarantining with us and having us at home. He's giant, but also very kind and lovable, just a really friendly giant. Finally, I love going to concerts. I've missed them so much during this time. I love festivals. I just love listening to live music. That's something I've always enjoyed, and I can't wait for us to all be vaccinated in the future so that we can go and do those things again. So here's other things to know about me. I love junk food, pizza, burritos, French fries, those sorts of things. I wish I ate healthier. I do not. I am binging really crappy reality TV. The Bachelorette is on right now, but I also have gotten into like Love Island, and better TV that I'm watching includes shows like Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV Plus. Highly recommend. It's so heartwarming and also funny. My favorite movie of all time is Bring It On. No questions. Okay. ACT Prep. With this course, what I have made it is I am meaning it in a way to prep you for admission and scholarship into a four-year university. If your plans are not to go to a four-year university, if you're looking into any sort of trade school, or maybe you just plan on getting your associates or go straight into the workforce, I think that there's a benefit. You'll definitely get your scores up, but some of the things may not apply as well to you. So that's something to consider about whether or not you want to stick with this elective. Things to know, the ACT is the most objective measure of students from different schools. So when your university gets your application and they want to judge you versus a student who went to another high school, maybe even in a different state, they're going to look at that ACT score to compare directly you and another student, not your GPA, because GPAs can vary based on where you went to high school and how hard your classes were. The ACT is the only thing that kids are taking nationally. This is the exact same and can assess their knowledge on different problem solving things like math and reading. It's gotten a bad rep just because of some particular issues, but statistically, if you look up, the ACT is actually the best indicator of how you're going to do your freshman year of college. You can fact check me on that one. So in college, I was a psychology major, and I took a class on how tests like the ACT and SAT are developed. And again, they're not perfect. They're not going to judge your whole value and worth as a human, but they do correlate strongest to how you're going to do your freshman year of college. And there's lots of factors that impact that, but that's just one of the reasons this test is so important. Just a note, if you are a senior, you're going to spend the time after December applying to schools and scholarships. So we're going to do some more hands-on stuff since you're kind of in the meat of applications. And just a little bit about my background, because you might be thinking, like, who am I to teach you how to do ACT prep? Like, what experience have I had? So again, I'm not trying to like hype myself up here. I really don't need your praise. But when I was in high school, I did score a 33. That did give me a majority ride to TU, and I've graduated without student debt. So I've been in a situation just like you of where I needed to get my scores up. And just so you know, I'm not a naturally bright and gifted test taker. My first go around, we were an SAT state, not an ACT, but my first SAT I ever took, my scores were average, like flat average, like 50th percentile across the board. And over time, using the tools that we're going to use in this course, I was able to raise my score up. And even recently, I took a GRE, that's like the graduate adult version of the ACT, and I was able to go from my reading scores being in the 48th percentile to when I took it, I got it up to the 94th percentile. So you can trust me. Like, I am going to give you advice, like, even if it seems odd, even if you're like, you're a math teacher, what can you tell me about reading? Like, those sorts of things. There are just some tried and true methods to getting your scores up. So I want you to have confidence in me when I am telling you and giving you advice. These are things that I do, that I practice, and I promise they work. What this virtual schedule is going to look like. So like I said, tried and true things. Like, I firmly believe the number one way to get your scores up is just to keep doing practice problems. The questions that you're going to see on the ACT are going to be formatted in the same way over and over and over again. So I'm going to expose you to a lot of practice resources. I want you in there unpacking the problems. So on Mondays, we're going to do a lesson over a reading or an English section. So looking at the text, looking at how we answer certain problems, the different types of problems you're going to be looking at, strategies with those things. You'll have some sort of lesson. On Tuesday, you'll have a reading or English practice problems. Wednesday, you're going to do a live lesson over math, some math concept that's going to be on there. And then on Thursday, you'll do math practice problems. Friday, we will have 2 quizzes, one math and one vocabulary. They'll both be around 10 questions, and that should be it. Again, the trick to getting your scores up is consistent practice. That's it. It's not some secret sauce. There's not some weird, like, I see the like videos of like all the different strategies and like games that you can play with the answers. And there can be some truth to that, but again, if you want to get your score consistently up, it is just about the amount of time and the amount of practice that you put into it. All the self-guided lessons are going to be on Nearpod. I'll post a link at 9 a.m. in the Google Classroom. Surveys, I give them out Mondays. These are just ways for me to check in with you, see how you're doing, and to make sure that everything's going well. Your practice will be self-guided and in the Google form. There's not a good online based thing for practice, so I will use a Google form. I have created a Khan Academy classroom because Khan Academy does have some ACT, SAT prep on there. I'm not going to assign lessons through that, but I do encourage you to log on there and to do some practice work on your own. And live lessons are on Wednesdays, and they're going to be a Zoom meeting. Okay, expectations. First, do your work daily. Again, consistent practice, that's what we're aiming for. So you're going to just want to do your little bit of work every single day. Know your needs and communicate them. So if you are having issues, please let me know so that I can help fix those issues. and help guide you through whatever problems you're facing. Come to Zoom meetings. This is a way to check in. They're really important. And be appropriate on the Google Classroom, please. Things you can expect from me. I'm going to do my best to produce some really high quality lessons. I will grade in a timely manner so you know where you're standing. I promise to be vulnerable. If things are not working out on my end or weird things are happening and I'm a little bit behind on grading, you're going to hear that from me. Also, I will be flexible with you. I know that there's a lot of different issues coming up right now. And so, whatever you need, please communicate them so that we can work it out together. Supplies you'll need a notebook, you'll need a pencil, and I highly, highly recommend that you get a graphing calculator. If you need to check one out, let me know. I do have a class set so that I can check some out to you. But with the math portion of the ACT, a graphing calculator is a must-have. Never take an ACT without one. I have them, so you don't necessarily need to go buy them. If you do plan on majoring in anything business or STEM related, so anything where you have to take a statistics course in college or a calculus course. And honestly, like if you're majoring in psychology or sociology or economics, those all have statistics things. Basically, unless you're going to be an English major or a philosophy major, you're probably going to want to invest in a graphing calculator because you'll need it throughout your college classes. Grading. 50%, the biggest chunk is participation. 20% is going to be based on that daily practice score, and 30% is going to be based on the quizzes on Friday. Here's my contact information. My number's in there, so you can call and text me at any time. There's my email, and I will respond from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. At 4 p.m., I turn everything off and live my life outside of school. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure to do the survey today, and we'll get started with some goal planning tomorrow.